Hey folks, this is WRSE 88.7 FM, Elmhurst College Radio. Good Time Sunday. Glad to be here with Miss Keita Mickens. Keita, what is up?
Hello, how are you?
Keita, I'm doing excellent. I thought you were talking out of mic 2. Maybe you're talking out of a different one.
I don't know which one. There you go.
That was
Lights
mic
on.
2. I just didn't hit the right button. And Keita, as you can see, is keeping tabs of whether or not the light was on. So actually, I just missed the button. That's what that was.
That's all good.
Yeah, Keita. So you were with a company called Lions Roar Entertainment Group, correct?
Yes.
And
short name LRUG.
LRUG, Lureg.
Yes.
Lureg.
Yes.
So what do you guys do at Lions Roar Entertainment Group, Lureg?
Well, we do a number of things. We are a booking as well as a management entertainment company. And it's almost like a cooperative. So we have makeup artists on staff, photographers on staff, and then we kind of help artists that are new, some high-end celebrities. We'll either do video editing or we'll help them put an EPK together, which is an electronic press kit.
Okay.
We'll kind of, it's like a bridge. So depending upon where they're starting and where they want to go, we're like that connecting piece.
Okay, you guys kind of help them to have things that they can pass out in a sense. That's one thing.
Yes.
You guys do is help them kind of get their image going. We were talking about
Yes.
that earlier.
Right.
Right on. How long have you guys been working how long have you guys been going?
I started off initially with my own promotion company called Trixie's Promotions.
Okay.
And I used to do Christian house parties in Wicker Park.
Okay.
And then from there, I did talent development, scouting, things of that nature here in Chicago and also in Detroit.
Okay.
So I just ended up having a whole group of friends that were makeup artists, photographers, hairstylists, clothing stylists, dancer, DJs. I just happened to have like this great group of creative people.
Sure.
And so when I would meet someone that was trying to get on, then I would ask them, okay, well, let me look at your image. Like, where are you trying to go? Because normally with commercial, there has to be a package. There has to be a team. And a lot of times, especially with local artists, they just want to get on. Mm-hmm. They don't have necessarily a team. They don't necessarily have a budget. They don't necessarily understand what that means or how to put it together. They just want to be in the studio. They just want to be heard on the radio. If they can get beyond selling out of the trunk and off their block, they think they're a success. Mm-hmm. So in that respect, that was kind of the inspiration, along with being from Detroit. There's a lot of great talent in Detroit. There's a lot of great talent in Chicago, but it was always a question of how did this person get put on?
Right.
And normally they had a team. Mm-hmm. Normally they had a marketing promotions budget,
right.
And that was kind of it. They had a street team. They did guerrilla marketing. They did something to let the world know that they existed, mm-hmm. and people bought their music, and there you go. Right. So in that respect, I kind of put the group together, the company together, and that's what we do.
Awesome. So how long then is this actually your company then?
Yeah.
This is yours?
It's my baby.
That's awesome. Why did you choose Lions?
Well, one, my personality is a lion. Mm-hmm. And normally when a lion roars, it has everyone's attention.
Yeah, including the people that are there on the tour that are just
the animal, the Giselle.
Everything.
Everyone stops.
Right.
And they move their direction to the lion or the sound.
Okay.
And they're either interested in what was that. Mm-hmm. There's that panic of, do we need to leave? Do we need to run? That kind of a thing.
That whole thought that there is a lion within about 25 feet from
somewhere in terms of the sound, I can hear it. Yeah, so that's where I kind of got the lion's roar. And then there's also some Christian symbolism to it. Like when you go on my website, the first page is a Joshua tree. Okay. There's a door, kind of like Alice in Wonderland. When you click the door, it goes in red. There's a Christian symbolism for that. Very cool. There was all that kind of going on when I built the page.
That is awesome. Lion. That is a great that is a great name. Also a very cool card.
Thank you.
You can see that. And then Keita, also you go by 9?
Yeah, I go by the number 9.
Okay. So do we call you Keita 9 Mickens or just 9 or 9 Mickens?
The number 9 is fine. And there's a great story behind that too. One of my first professional clients is Maximilian. And so when I started off with his studio, they brought me on to do promotions and marketing. And so I tend to initially, when I meet with a client, observe like where they are and how I can grow them or take them where they need to go. So as things were processing, he was like, you need a name. And I was like, Keita's not good enough. And he's like, no, like there's Maximilian. At the time, our engineer was Trademark. And so they were like, Kita.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know, everyone that's really hot in the industry, they have a number for a name. And I was like, I never heard of that. But there is a guy who's like this huge producer called Seven. And he spells his name the number 7 EVEN. So I was like, all right, he one of my favorite numbers, like 3, clearly, Trinity. Yeah. 11, you know, oh, I don't like 11, 6, that's too close to sex.
Right.
And then he came up with 9. And I said, 9. I said, well, that's 3 Trinities, 3 threes, good number, new beginning, but all right.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's go with it. So.
9 works. Now, do you have any kind of a tagline that you ever use with that? Because I might have one for you.
No, I just say the number 9.
You should be like, hey, I'm 9, like the like number, so you can count on me.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, right? I mean, that actually wasn't bad. That actually,
it was.
I'm 9, like the number, so you can count on me.
Yeah, no.
Because she's not digging it at all. It's not even like a, oh yeah,
no.
That's what.
Yeah, I know. Foot,
right, well,
mouth. Converse.
Well, you know what, Kita, that's totally fine. Although Kita's also great. Kita's a great name. You know,
it is very cool. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, you want to be special, so I like the 9. And then it lets me know if you call me 9, I know how I met you.
Sure, right. Because your friends call you Kita.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I do all kinds of things, so
right on.
That lets me know.
Very awesome. So then, and I'm guessing that you really like what you do, seeing as how you create.
You know, I love what I do. I love artists. I also do like after school programming. I think I just like that persona of being able to help someone that has a non-traditional gift or talent and to kind of, you know, get them where they want to go. I was that kid, and like I said, I'm from Michigan, and so it's very blue collar. You always vote Democratic, not now, but back then. And, you know, my mom was like, you're either a school teacher, you work for the telephone company. I mean, like very blue collar gigs. Right. And I was an artsy kid. So for me, if I find another artsy kid that just needs that little push, or you just need packaging, or you just need web pages, or whatever it is, then I want to help you out.
Right. So what kind of art were you into, or are into, that you actually make yourself?
I do murals. I have a few on my wall. I do write poetry. I used to dance, so that's why I love music. I can compose music. I don't let people know. They don't like cute girls that can actually compose music. And then I do video editing. So that's another visual thing. Makeup. I used to do makeup for fashion and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So it's kind of like styling. I have a really good friend who's Matt Ginger. He did a lot of the pictures on my website. So whenever I can, I like hanging out with him and helping him with lighting and giving him direction. Yeah. Like the girl Avery Sky that's on my website, he did all those pictures, and I kind of assisted. You'll see like makeup by or styling by, that kind of stuff.
Right on. Awesome. Yeah. Now, as far as like artists go, you work with mainly musicians or?
Mainly musicians, but like I said, coming on this side of music prior to, I did fashion. So I'd worked with models, and it was kind of funny because it's almost like football, like a football team. You watch the team that you're going to compete against. So I would clock a lot of runway shows. I would clock Naomi Campbell. I would clock the way she walked. I would go to stores, especially on Belmont and stuff like that, and I would look at the clothes and the seams, and I would figure out, like, if a girl is walking, how would it move, or, you know, that kind of a thing. So that kind of attention to detail I pretty much brought over to music. Not only in terms of listening and production, but really the data side of it, in terms of being able to track your demographics, being able to know who's following you. And if that's who's following you, then if we're talking about going on tour, then you want to hit that city, or you want to hit that college town, specifically because they're within your demographic, they're feeling you, it should be a great show, everyone should have a good time, things like that.
Cool, right on. So then you would work with any kind of artist out there then, like there's no one you wouldn't work with?
No, not really. I mean, if you're a photographer, if you're a muralist, you know, you still have an art that you want to present. So, you know, I know one hotel, Holiday Inn South Loop, they're looking for musicians as well as doing art, gallery nights and stuff like that. So that's why I said, like, my friends are mosaic tile artists, they're web designers, they're musicians, they're all kinds of creative people. And it's really kind of put on a show, put on a party.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Above it, it's just fun.
Now, is there one set of like, I guess like one set of song like writers, song makers that you work with, like one kind of set group?
Well, right now it tends to lean more into like hip hop, R&B, mainly because working with 40 Hertz and working with Max. I mean, Max does all kinds of music, and he works with all different kinds of companies as well as individual people. So, kind of from working with him and really much being mentored by him, I tend to stay. It's easier because there are a lot of hip hop artists that really need the help.
Right.
But I kind of shop out and look for everyone. Like there's this girl, Anna Lee. I have an EPK for her, and she's a white girl, heavily tattooed, spiky blonde hair. When she performs, she dyes it blue, and she does soul, hip hop, jazz. She has a trio band, and she's very hot. I mean, she can do Jill Scott, and then she can do Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, she's just really
great,
good. Yeah, she's really cool, down to earth kind of person. So I'm trying to do bookings for her as well.
Okay.
Doesn't
awesome.
matter.
Right on. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I guess I should ask next. Are there any like specific artists, mentioning her that you can think of right now off the bat that are just you really like, you really love what they do, that work with you?
See, I knew you were gonna. Oh, in terms of people that I work with, or people that I just love.
I guess we can start with people that you just love, and then go on to people that you work with.
Well, I listen to all kinds of music. Mm-hmm. So from like punk rock, there's Linkin Park, there's Green Day, like that speed metal kind of stuff. Then there's like soul. I mean, Anita Baker, the Isley Brothers. What's his name? Luther Vandross. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's Max in terms of dance. There's Joe Smooth. There's Fast Eddie, Bad Boy Bill. I like listening to everything. I love... what's his name? The country guy. Johnny...
Johnny,
passed away.
Johnny Cash.
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny
love
Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash is great.
Yeah.
Good dude.
So I like the gamut. I mean, I listen to classical music. I listen to Celtic music. I have a Native American station on my AOL Slacker because I'm Native American. So I listen to bass, reggae, dance. I mean, I like music.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that really helps with you and what you're doing because you love what you're working with. And then I guess that goes along with like, okay, so naming all these people, they probably seem like they're like, 1,000 feet tall because they're so famous. Who are some people that like that you're working with, and I'm sure all of them, but some people that come to mind specifically where you're like, you know what, this person has this kind of like potential?
Well, I can tell you, Problem was here.
Yeah.
I met Problem.
OTC.
Yeah.
Just want to give a quick shout out. He was here last week. He was awesome.
He was
Problem,
awesome. He
if
did
you're
me
watching,
proud.
This isn't live, but I'll tell you what, I feel the same way whenever you're watching this as I do now.
Good.
You're awesome.
Yeah. He's I love him. He's an awesome person. He's an amazing kid. And I met him through 40 Hertz. So he was in Max's mentor program. Max has, outside of him as an artist or anything he could do for like Cirque du Soleil or Disney, he has his own kind of camp. And so he develops artists for Kanye. He develops artists for Vince Herbert, Lady Gaga's manager. He develops people for all different, as well as taking on local Chicago. So that's how Problem came in. He's one of his kids. And I loved his energy. A lot of people that came into the studio were trying to show Max how awesome it is to have them in the studio versus understanding who he is as a person and what he could do for them. So that's always the first, okay, if you're like that and you're nobody, then if I help you make a lot of money, what are you really going to be like?
Let me ask you something, just really, really quick. How do people do that? Like, just give me one example, or just like a really quick, like, how do people act as if they're like the best person in the whole room, like when you first meet them?
So there's always listening sessions going on. He's always playing music, not only music that he's working on, trying to see if people are vibing on, but the way his camp goes, music is always being played. People are always freestyling. Even if you're a singer, there's the hook or there's like the ad-libs within a track and things of that nature. So we've had people come in the past who don't understand that there's a such thing as a hook.
Right.
They don't understand there's a such thing as, like, okay, you just spat some bars and now it's the next man's turn. So if it's 40 hertz, then technically it's Max's house. So when Max starts freestyling, you should probably be quiet. And what has happened is that they just kept on going.
Like, so he'll kind of
got louder.
Really?
He started singing the hook. They're still going.
Wow.
And you're like, exactly that. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I'm not really sure. And then he's even had people say, yeah, this is going to be a huge opportunity for you, Max.
Yeah.
If you put me on.
Yep. Isn't that so
Yeah.
crazy? That's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
I know people like that clean carpet, and they're just like talking to me, and I'm like, well, I'm not done talking.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to talk, and then I don't know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. I was trying to go into a joke, and I guess I just kind of started a joke before I knew how to finish it.
Oh, that's okay.
But going along with that, what's so crazy about some artists is like you will meet some artists that are just like the most down to earth, beautiful people, and they're just so like happy just to have people like getting into what they're putting out.
Yes.
You have other artists that are so good, but they're just so stuck up. But
yes.
you can't be like they suck because they're so good, and
right.
they know it.
Yeah,
and
it's a challenge.
It's really hard because both of them make it, and it seems like, depending from what I've read in a bunch of, and granted these are artists from like the 70s, 80s, like the 90s, and more recent too, I guess, but mainly like back in the day, maybe it was just different. Because now anyone can really put anything out to the actual,
on YouTube. That's true.
Anyone, and it's so much easier now to get people to hear you. But they would talk about how artists, like, you need to be a real kind of like a jerk and just be like, make sure that you're the one getting heard. People know that you're like that you have something. You just push yourself and like don't let other people. You just got to go for it. You just got to take it.
Well, I think it's like a yes and no. You have to have a certain confidence level. And it does seem to be those people that won't take no for an answer kind of get through. They kind of get through. As you were talking, it makes me think about, and I'm probably going to date myself, but I don't care. When Leaders of the New School did The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Okay. And
it was 3 guys, but only one guy at the end of the night was like the guy. Mm-hmm. And it was his performance. And when it got time to his verse, he was like wild and crazy, and he was animated. And the other guys, they said their part, they spat their verses, they were tight, nobody slipped, but they weren't memorable. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like that kind of a thing. Yeah. How do you want to be remembered?
Right.
Now, so the person that's kind of has a personality problem, but they're really good, that's why they get on. Because it's like, they might be difficult to deal with, but they're really good.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's a business. So it's like, well, can I make money? Mm-hmm. Can they be that monster that when the paparazzi's coming at them, that they can just push through? Mm-hmm. Or are they going to get overwhelmed and consumed by all the lights and the people pulling at them? And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things. It has to be more than just you can sing really well. It has to be more than just you're really pretty. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so much behind the scenes that a person has to do. There's a certain strength that you just have to have. And when regular people are kind of looking at the YouTubes or when they're looking at celebrities, you see that side, but you have no clue all the hair and the makeup or all that they literally had 2 hours of sleep because they were at the radio station here. They did a radio station interview on the phone. I mean, you have no clue what people actually have to go through.
Totally.
And when you walk up to them, that could just be that 1 minute that they were like, if I could just have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I could just take a quick, deep breath.
Yeah. Yep. And it's always up because I was thinking about that, with like, really, really famous artists who have been caught, I don't know, cussing out some fan, and they just say, hey, I just was caught in a bad time. But you know what? I feel like when you're making that much money, I'm sorry,
everyone
you don't have the excuse that you.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think the issue is that there isn't a book, there isn't a video that says once you sell so many copies, now you're owned by the masses, and what that means. And even if you just had that sentence, you have no clue what that feels like until you're there.
Yep. Everybody wants something.
And so you could probably remember, I can't remember, there was a line that was like, I remember back in the day I could just walk on the street. I could just go get a burger and nobody knew who I was, and they want that moment, just that moment. For Jay-Z has a line in Holy Grail when he's like, he can't take his daughter for a walk, but then he's like, who am I kidding though? Like this is an easy life. So I got the job that everybody wants. So sometimes it is.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sound as I'm not feeling for him, because I am. But it's also like I really give it up to those. That's just what separates them from being someone who really is a class act. Not to say that these people that flip out are not good people. I'm sure a lot of them are great people, but I'm just saying, like, there are certain people out there that are just always, like we were talking about earlier, you're not, yourself. You've always got to have this image. Whenever there's anyone that could be a potential buyer in front of
you're not
you.
Diane,
No.
you're superstar.
Right, yeah.
So if you're at home and it's warm outside and you're like, man, I really want to go get a strawberry frappuccino.
Yep, you just,
and
put on the air and drink
no
some water
assistant, no. I just want to go and just take a walk.
Yeah.
Now you got to think, do I put the makeup on?
Yeah.
I just want to go get a frappuccino.
Right. Right. Seriously.
I just want some Starbucks whipped cream today and not the ready whip.
No.
I mean, so that's the issue. But when you're that kid that's hungry, that's either working at UPS or they're in college and they're just like, man, this sucks. I don't have any money. You're not thinking about all of that way down there.
Yeah. I think it's really, really wild. I mean, I would personally love that, because it's something along the lines of like what I'm trying to do, what Arthur, my brother, and I are trying to do.
Right.
But I would hope that we get the chance to do it. But of course, if and when that does happen, I'll say in about 25 years after I cuss out 25 people.
Right.
I just want a milkshake. I'm outnumbered here.
You're in People magazine.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's going on with this dude? He's
I'm just trying to be the best person I can be, and I'm just sitting here and I'm saying,
and then you'll have your friends. No, he's really a good guy.
Yeah. No, he really is a good dude. He didn't mean all those things.
You're like, no, you're just at his house partying. Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah, totally. Are there any artists that have actually gotten like really, really far working with you guys, or that you've worked with that are now?
Well, in terms of Lions Roar Entertainment, because for probably the last 3.5 years, 40 Hertz Productions was my client, so I was exclusive to them. So we kind of where Max is still my client in terms of I help him with any web pages that they need. I may have a chance to do some bookings for him or things of that nature. So it's kind of like this year is where it's my baby and I'm taking on clients. So I have Problem. I have Dot. Okay. That's new. He's new, but he's not. His brother got signed, and so from kind of looking at that, he wants to stay the independent route. And then I have Maserati P that's also with 40 Hertz.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, and then Avery Sky, that's on my page, but she's more so acting, modeling kind of a thing.
Okay, so then if someone wanted to join, how would they go about, I mean, they would just, obviously, let me see, well, they can reach you at lionsroargroup.wix.com.
Yes.
Which we'll go back to, obviously.
Yes.
LREG. We're going to come back to that.
Or you can email me. You can contact this radio station, and they can help you get in touch with me.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
But yeah, on my website, you can. There's a little contact us box, and that's kind of it.
Okay. And then they just, you guys just set up a meeting, and then they meet with you, and then
set up a meeting, and the happy medium between the two of us.
Okay.
And normally, the first few questions I ask is, do you have any links? Because that kind of lets me know where you are in terms of understanding the business. Do you have a following? Have you done any shows? Have you sold tickets? Can you sell tickets?
Right.
If I booked you at the Abbey Room, how many people would show up on your behalf? Do you have more than just a personal Facebook? Do you have a fan book page where we can track your demographics and we can track how many times you post? Do you have videos on YouTube? Are they professional music videos, or is it just you and your homies with your Apple product? Right. That kind of lets me know, so that when I'm booking, like I was saying earlier, I have a chance to book for the HBCU tour, And the first thing the guy said was, I need media kits. And so my clients that actually had all that together got sent. The other ones would love to get sent, but they don't have the pieces. They don't have a video, or they don't have a professional fan page on Facebook. They may just have a SoundCloud, but there's no pictures. If there are pictures, are there pictures of you performing? Is there videotape of you performing? Because these people want to know what kind of, it's a show.
Yeah, what do you like live as opposed to
Yeah, we don't want you and 10 of your boys behind you trying to represent the South Side.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually trying to put on a show, have fun, make money, and potentially book you for a tour, or book you for
There's more people on stage than in the actual crowd.
Yeah, in the crowd, or how many there's like 3 verses, but there's 20 people behind you.
Totally.
Who's on the mic here?
So then, Keita, what would you suggest, I guess, for artists that are going to be coming to you? Like, what would you like them to have ready?
I would at least like them to have SoundCloud, a Facebook fan page. I know Justin kind of took over MySpace, but I don't necessarily care about MySpace.
Yeah.
And some videos, even if it's you singing, just you, a cappella or something like that. I need to get an idea of your personality. I personally don't take thugged out people, because I don't have to. You know, and that's why I say I like problem. You know what I'm saying? Good energy, good people. If I send you someplace, I know I don't have to go with you.
Right.
You're going to show up. If you're running late, you're going to call me. You know, you're not going to walk in like you're Chaka Khan or Patti LaBelle and you've been doing this forever.
Totally.
And we're all bowing down because we're so happy you showed up. So I want people, because of my relationship with Maximilian, I can do some corporate things. So in that respect, it's a totally different level than Adriana's that's on the South Side, or you paid to play at the Abbey Room. It's totally different.
Right.
You know, with the HBCU tour, I believe the Army is one of the co-sponsors.
Yeah.
So in that respect, don't send me music that I can't get past 60 seconds on.
Of course.
I'm not interested. Or no, when I say you're going to need radio edit, don't be offended and tell me you feel like you're selling out.
Yeah.
That's
what it is.
Corporate sponsors, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. These are people whose clients are families. So, and they have big budgets, and they tend to do the tours.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want to do, definitely come see me. But no, coming in the door, we're probably going to have to do a little cleanup.
Totally. Right. Yeah. Right on. So then, where would you like to see your company go in the next couple of years? Like, I should say, like, what is something that you'd like to do that you guys haven't done yet?
Well, I would love to get into doing, being a tour manager. And then from that, I think we'll be able to build our client base in terms of, I love people that want to stay independent. I love that. They don't want to go commercial, or they don't want to be owned by a label. So in that respect, having more distribution pathways for them. So I think being a tour manager, or being able to contact, like I've been harassing Empty Bottle because they also do some of the festivals. So in that respect, having a name where they know, okay, LREG sent me an email, they have great talent, such and such is coming in, let their person open up, because I know that their client, once again, is going to show up on time, is going to be respectful, is going to jump on the mic. If they get 350, then they do 350, not 10 minutes. Things of that nature. So cool. I want to be known as that one company in Chicago that does hip-hop, that does pop, rock, soul, and they're a reputable company.
Totally. Right on, Keita. Is there... This might be the last question here, but is there anything that you want to mention or push that's coming up down the road for you guys?
Well, I would say go on Maximilian's Facebook page. And he is getting ready to go on tour in the next few months. He will be releasing his own music. He did it in the past, but where he's been developing people and doing music for like Disney and Cirque du Soleil on the back end in terms of industry, he's coming out. He has a couple of his own clients with 40 Hertz that he's developed, and they're all ready to go. and hopefully I'll be going on tour with them.
Yeah.
And so in that respect, jump on their Facebook page, stay abreast of the music, and we'll see you at the tour.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keita Mickens, also 9. I should call you
Number
9.
9.
Yep, the
That's
number
okay.
number 9 right here. Awesome. Keita Mickens, thank you very much for being on. So folks, please check out Lions Roar Entertainment. And I guess I should ask you, what's the best way for people to reach you guys? If you just want to plug that one more time.
Easy way is probably email, and I'll have to spell it. I'll say it. It's the 9.40hertz@gmail. It's the number 9, INE.40HZ@gmail.com. When you email me, send me your links, send me your pics. Hopefully you have a bio. If not, start writing it now. And let's get it going.
Definitely will. And you guys can also check them out at www.lionsroargroup.wix.com/LREG.
Yes, Wix.com.
That is awesome. Lions Roar Entertainment. Keita, thank you so much.
Thank you for
You're
having
awesome.
me.
Definitely,
Thanks.
definitely, folks. So please check her out.